Julia, the driver.
I'm sure he's seen this before. And much more, I'd wager.
You're probably right. It's almost Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the festivities are about to get underway.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Enjoying yourself?
Will be when this bloody pantomime's over.
Oh, Thomas.
Goose with apples and prunes? I could have some if you don't mind. Grandmother?
Rest, my dear. You will be home soon.
Something the matter, George?
I've got something in my eye. Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
Did you enjoy the performance, gentlemen?
George was crying.
It's a very touching piece, George. No shame in feeling its emotions.
It's not my fault that I'm cursed with a sensitive soul.
No doubt speaks to your gifts as a writer.
I think you're right, Doctor. I think that's very astute. But I was not crying.
I'm just gonna slip out for a wee nip.
You will not, Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your kind attention. It gives me great pleasure to introduce your hostess for this evening, Mrs. Millicent McGowan.
Thank you all for coming. And now, I'd like to introduce to you the star of this evening's performance. Come on stage, Mary. I give you Miss Mary Pickford. Treasure her now because soon she's off to America to try her hand at the moving pictures.
Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen. And remember to give from your hearts this Christmas.
Thank you, Mary.
Oh.
The fate of the little match girl is sobering, but sadly not unique. And the fate and fortunes of Toronto's poor children is the reason for my husband's Christmas gala. His fifth, I might add. And it is my hope that his kindness will spur you to make this Christmas the best Christmas for Toronto's sick children and orphans. Children, form a queue. We have a very special guest in attendance tonight. Gentlemen?
Bloody showboat.
Thomas, stop being such a pill. Mr. McGowan is one of Toronto's greatest philanthropists. Indulge him in his moment.
Close the door. Close the door. Close the door.
I think something is wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Bugger's probably pickled.
I'm sorry, but there's going to be a slight delay. Mrs. McGowan, The rest of the presents, they're gone.
Gone? What are you talking about, gone?
They've been stolen.
His neck is broken.
I suppose that's put the kibosh on Christmas.
We best get an attendant to cover him up before the children see.
Right. George.
I'll clear everyone off, sir.
Let's hope you make it to 5th. Now, tonight's not when we put out the presents. Christmas Eve is the night for that. You understand that? Yeah, is there something you're hoping for?
I'd love a new doll. I've heard there's one that talks.
Well, have you been good?
I try.
You try. She tried. What more can we ask? As long as you try not to be bad or cruel, that's enough.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
I'm afraid we need you to move along. We're conducting an investigation now, and we should get the children home.
Of course, of course. All right, beautiful children. I wish you good night. Try to sleep well.
Thank
All
you.
right?
And you know, sir, I could give you, if you wanted it, I could give you the name of a good Berber.
That's really not necessary, son. Thank you.
St. Nick's last ride.
We've got all the names and addresses of the guests.
Thank you, sir. Could you drop Julia home?
Of course.
I have to stay a while longer.
Could you excuse me just one moment?
I'll get my hat and coat.
Are you all right?
Yes.
How long have you been like this?
I don't know.
Excuse me? Can you take this boy with you to the hospital for sick children? I'll let the nuns know.
Of course.
Mrs. McGowan, I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
He was a wonderful man.
Well, in my experience, even wonderful men have enemies.
And all the presents missing, they were for the children. Poor children.
Mrs. McGowan, someone wanted your husband dead.
And succeeded.
Yes. Who?
The only one that I can think of that has a heart dark enough to do this is Cyrus Lynch,
Cyrus Lynch. Of Lynch Fabrications.
the one and only.
Why do you say that?
He and my husband were friends once, and friends can become vicious enemies. But to kill a man days before Christmas and steal alms from the poor, I didn't think Mr. Lynch would go that far.
Again, terribly sorry. We may need to speak again.
The donations were stored in the building over there. We only discovered they were gone after Mr. McGowan's death.
And you didn't notice anything unusual today?
I heard something in the woods before the guests arrived.
Something?
Sounded like an animal, but we didn't see anything.
Now, a slave carrying a heavy burden seems to have gone this way. What's in this direction?
A few other properties.
Thank you.
Here you go. Paper! It's paper! Who killed St. Nicholas? It's Samuel Lee Apple! Read all about it!
The bloke could have let us know he was taking a photograph.
That's what you look like, sir.
So what did you find at McGowan's?
Nothing concrete. The groundsman seems to have heard a disturbance of some kind, and the name Cyrus Lynch came up.
He's a piece of work, this Lynch.
Apparently, he and the victim were not the closest of friends.
Anything else?
I checked the city survey. Mr. Lynch's home is quite near to Mr. McGowan's.
Would it kill you to hold the ladder, Henry?
Come on. Hey, Jackson! What do you think you're doing?
I'm measuring the height of the ceiling, sir. For the tree.
There will not be a tree in here.
No tree?
Bloody Germans and their idiotic traditions. Jackson, get down.
Sir, a tree wouldn't be a terrible idea.
This is a place of work, Murdoch, not a bloody herbarium.
Well, everybody, just popped by to wish everyone the best of the season. I'm off to Newfoundland.
All right, George. Have a pleasant journey.
Ah, sir, I hope to. If all my connections are reliable, I'll make it to St. John's just in time for the festivities. My aunts are expecting me.
George, this arrived for you.
My aunts are going on some journey with a mysterious benefactor. It hardly seems worth a trip now.
Oh, don't worry about it, Buglugs. I've got plenty for you to do. Instead of gallivanting across the country, you can help Murdoch here find out who murdered St. Nicholas.
Right. I could use the company.
I can't believe they were just abandoned me. What am I going to do now? Higgins, perhaps you and I could...
Spend Christmas together. No, I don't think so, George. I have plans.
Yes, no, of course. Sir, why Mr. Lynch?
Mrs. McGowan suspects Cyrus Lynch. Also, when I was at the McGowans last night, I saw tracks heading towards Cyrus Lynch's home.
Good eye, sir. Do you mind if I drive?
Go ahead, George. I get the lead on the way home.
Fair enough, sir.
Tell the policeman what you saw.
Go on, son.
I was out for a walk on the Parker Trail last night, and I saw something in the woods.
The Parker Trail.
You know, the one where all the rich people live?
You brought him in here for this.
Tell him what you told me.
The thing I saw, it was a creature.
A creature.
Yes, sir. It looked like a man, but it wasn't. It had horns and big ears.
A big-eared, horny creature.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, son. I'll get a couple of my men to go take a look. We wouldn't want this creature spoiling your Christmas now, would we?
Thank you, sir.
And, one more thing.
What's that?
I, found this. It's from the beast.
Krampus.
We haven't seen him since yesterday.
Is that unusual?
Very much so. Mr. Lynch is something of a homebody. That is, when he's not at work. I inquired, he wasn't there either.
I very much need to speak with him.
So do I. I'm hoping to be relieved for the holiday, but he's disappeared.
Is this a recent photo?
It is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir.
Sir.
What have you, George?
Look at this. Compliments of Alice from McGowan.
One of the stolen gifts. Were there others?
This is the only one I could find, sir. It would appear Mr. Lynch is trying to steal Christmas.
I want these distributed to all points of exit from Toronto. Train stations, livery yards, lake steamers. We must find Cyrus Lynch.
Sir, all of those places will be overrun by holiday travelers.
Then all the more likely someone is to have seen him, Henry. Get to it!
Yes, sir.
Constable Jackson.
It's a pity we can't have a tree, sir. It would certainly make our task feel more festive.
They do lighten the spirit, don't they?
Yes, sir. You should see my family's tree. It's 10 feet tall if it was an inch. And when all the candles are ablaze,
That's a fire hazard, isn't it?
Well, it may be, sir, but what a fire hazard. Please, will you talk to the inspector?
Ready your axe, Jackson.
Thank you, sir. We're getting a tree! my mother will be marinating the goose by now.
Already?
A goose needs to be well sauced, Henry. Sometimes we eat it the night before.
On Christmas Eve?
I know, but sometimes we just can't resist. Merry Christmas, my good man! How about you, Henry?
I'm going to the home of James and Helen McVie. They're old family friends.
Sounds boring.
You wouldn't say that if you laid eyes on their daughter, Elsie, George. Henry Higgins, your own walking, talking Christmas gift. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Best of the season, my good man. Well, I can't wait to get home. They won't trim the tree without me. And how about you, George?
Well, I was going to go home to Newfoundland.
Until his aunt's got a better offer.
I'm sure they have a good reason. You know, I suppose I'll just stay in the city now. Go for a walk or something. Although, I do love a good goose.
Right. I'm sorry, George, but Mother insists that Christmas be for family only.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. I mean, who better to spend it with?
Why don't you celebrate with the detective?
Well, I'm not going to be a third wheel at the detective and Dr. Ogden's festivities.
So the inspector, then?
Higgins, the inspector, are you daft? Anyway, what does it matter? In the end, it's just another day.
That's right, George. That's all it is.
Nothing special at all. Merry Christmas, everybody!
Yes. That is one of Mr. McGowan's. Where did you find it?
In Cyrus Lynch's home.
And Mr. Lynch?
Still unaccounted for.
I don't envy your job. And to have to deal with a murder before Christmas.
Murder is a vile crime, no matter the season. Can you tell me any more about Mr. Lynch and Mr. McGowan's relationship?
They were not fond of one another.
By all accounts, that's an understatement.
As young men, the two were partners, but something happened and their friendship strained.
Something?
Millicent. They both had designs on her, but she chose Mr. McGowan.
Well, they were married years ago, were they not?
Almost 20.
Then why would Mr. Lynch wait all of this time to exact his revenge?
Perhaps he got tired of hearing Mr. McGowan be called a saint when he clearly knew him as a sinner. Perhaps he resented the fact that a thief was being treated like a king.
How is that?
Mr. McGowan was not all that he's seen, Detective Murdoch. Publicly, he was a benevolent philanthropist.
And privately?
A miser.
Then how do you explain all of these presents at Christmas?
It cost him nothing. He hardly paid his employees. He often employed their children for more hours than the laws allow. Any complaint was met with a threat of dismissal.
Are we speaking about the same Alistair McGowan?
In the eyes of the world, he was the embodiment of the spirit of giving. But the world doesn't see everything. Not like an accountant. Accountants see everything.
Thank you, Mr. Rankin.
I do hope the rest of the holiday does allow for more pleasant diversion.
As do I.
And how do you celebrate it, sir?
Quietly, with my wife.
As do I. But without the wife, sadly. I have a home in the wilderness. Some enjoy the gaiety. I, the tranquility. But I do miss the comfort of family.
Hello, Father!
Bobby, got a little bit overboard on the Christmas decorations, haven't you?
Oh, Thomas, it only happens once a year.
Where's John?
Out caroling with his friends.
Bloody hell.
I just made this. It's called eggnog. Try it. What do you think?
Waste of good rum.
Father, I was wondering,
What?
did you see that train set I was asking about?
What does a boy your age want with a train set? You don't need a toy, you need a job. When I was your age, I was up a chimney.
I was only hoping that...
Your mother's side of the family have spoilt you rotten. Why not be thankful for what you have instead of whining for more?
Ebenezer.
I heard that, Margaret.
Good.
All of the presents had been stored in Mr. McGowan's barn. Mr. Lynch had ample time and opportunity to remove them.
So you think you did it?
We found one of the presents from Mr. McGowan's in Mr. Lynch's home. And still no sign of Mr. Lynch.
So he killed Mr. McGowan, and now he's in hiding?
So it would seem. I'll get it. Oh, it's arrived. Excellent. Come in, come in, come in.
William! There's hardly room.
Oh, don't be silly. There's always room for a Christmas tree.
I'm not usually a sentimental sort, but I've kept these things since childhood. I thought it was broken.
I fixed it.
Are you humming?
Me? Go.
Full of surprises.
Merry Christmas. Can I help you, sir?
Yes. Do you have anything like a small duck or a capon?
Smallest I got's 4 pounds, and it's spoken for.
What about a turkey?
10's the least.
Nothing for a single person?
On Christmas? Hardly. There's never anything for a single person on Christmas.
Right. Thank you.
Hey, wait. I got these. Huh?
I'll take them.
Great. That'll be 75 cents.
75 cents?
Holiday prices. Merry Christmas.
Never ever sneak up on a man.
Why are you here?
Just looking around.
So you believe me?
I'm simply taking a walk. Besides, it was just your imagination.
If you thought that, you wouldn't be snooping around here.
What kind of animal track do you think that is?
I don't know. But I think you do.
Right, you lot, get off your backsides. We are going to find this man.
Well, of course we are, sir.
Oh, I'm glad you're showing some confidence, Jackson. Because until he's behind bars, all leave is cancelled. Cancelled? Sir, what about Elsie?
Please, sir, it's Christmas.
You want Christmas? Find St. Nick's killer.
I want my Christmas. I promised my mother.
Hang Christmas. I wanted Elsie.
You know what? This might not be so bad.
What are you talking about?
Well, we'll spend Christmas together. The 3 lads. We'll make a go of it. Right?
I have another job for you, George. Please take Henry and Jackson down to Sullivan Street. Mr. Lynch has a warehouse there. Perhaps he stashed something.
Yes, of course.
George?
Sir, do you and Dr. Ogden, what are you doing for Christmas? Do you have any plans?
None at all.
Really? Well, I was asking
And we
because
couldn't be happier. We spend so little time alone together that a day with nothing more than each other's company is all we want.
Yes, of course. Of course, right then. Off we go.
Well, George.
Sir?
Could you...
Oh. Sausages.
Merry Christmas, best of the season. Happy Christmas, ma'am.
Jackson.
Merry Christmas.
He's getting half annoying. Just half?
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, sir.
Cut it out, Jackson. You're an officer of the law, man, not an elf.
More like an elf. Very good, Henry. You there! Merry Christmas. Gotcha.
God grant us patience.
Merry Christmas.
Jackson!
I could feign an illness.
You think the inspectors wouldn't believe that?
You should see her, George.
Oh, fellows, look. The McGowan presents.
Well, how do we know they're from his house?
Ha. Look at this.
It's a sled.
Not just any sled, and it's a sleigh, by the way. Let's see.
Slugger.
Yeah. I built this and donated it to Mr. McGowan's cause. Gentlemen, we are starting on the road back to Christmas.
And here we are for you, my princess. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you. And for you, sir, I believe this is a razor since you're starting to shave. Merry Christmas.
Excuse me, sir. A word, please.
Of course, Sonny. What is it?
You were at the McGowan house the other night, were you not?
Indeed, we spoke, yes.
What? May I ask where you got these presents?
I have important work to do here. Do you mind?
Excuse me, sir.
What? What?
What's her name?
Isn't it apparent? It's Kris Kringle.
Sir, you need to come with us.
Why?
We believe these presents might be stolen property.
Stolen property? How dare you?
Come off it, you old coot.
I will not go willingly. What do you think of that? I've never treated you. You're the stupidest police I've ever encountered.
Murdoch,
Please, come this way.
One step ahead of you, sir. Good luck, sir.
Mary Pickford.
This isn't right. All he was doing was handing out presents.
Excuse me, but this is police business.
You can't put him in jail. Not before Christmas.
I can do whatever I choose, young lady. Now you go home. Bloody match girl.
I'll ask you once again, sir. What is your name?
Oh, it's Kris Kringle. But some prefer to call me Santa. Santa Claus.
Yes, I understood that part. So you just happened to find those presents in that warehouse?
I did take the presents, but only to give them to the children. I was planning to deliver them on Christmas Eve, naturally. But then I had second thoughts.
Why is that?
Well, look at those children. They have no homes, much less a chimney.
What is your connection to Mr. Lynch?
I have none.
Alistair McGowan. Then how did you come to be in his home?
I know of all Christmas events. Good thing I was there. The children needed me.
And now you are in possession of Mr. McGowan's stolen Christmas gifts.
Well,
Again, I ask you, what is your connection to Mr. Lynch?
I have none.
I'm going to give you a moment to reconsider that answer.
Okay.
We only found a small portion of the presents.
There could be caches scattered throughout the city.
So we could find them? Like an Easter egg hunt?
It's the wrong holiday, Jackson.
That's not exactly true, Higgins. In some cultures, the Finns, for example, hiding eggs is not unique to Easter. It is indeed part of their Christmas tradition.
Thank you, George.
Sir.
In spite of the man we have in custody...
Latvians also in Latvia, sir.
Thank you. In spite of the man that we have in custody, Cyrus Lynch remains our primary suspect.
He didn't do it.
Doctor.
Mr. McGowan's neck was snapped. His body was also transported after death. Given the relative sizes of the two men, it's unlikely Mr. Lynch could have done it.
Well, he may have had an accomplice. At any rate, Cyrus Lynch remains a person of interest in this investigation.
Linchpin, as it were.
Back to work, gentlemen. I have someone that I would like you to meet.
Who?
Well, you'll see.
Hello. I'm Dr. Julia Ogden. And you are?
Kringle, Chris Kringle. You have to let me out of here.
May I talk to you for just one moment?
No, can we do that a little later, please? This is my busy time. And the elves, if they're left alone too long, they tend to get fractious.
I see.
Yeah.
So
And
you
the-
believe that you are...
And the reindeer, someone has to look after them. And you know who that someone is, don't you? Well, you have to get me out of here.
All right. Well, is there someone you know that I could talk to? I can't release you unless there's someone to surrender you to.
My wife.
Good. How can I find her?
She's some distance north of here.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
It's a big city, George. We won't find a man who doesn't want to be found.
Especially a man of means. He'd be anywhere. Be in New York City or halfway to San Francisco. Can't believe we're gonna miss Christmas because the inspector's stupid.
Ow, Jordan, why the hell did you kick me? Evening, Inspector.
Ah, evening, lads.
Not at home?
I decided I could use a few before I can face what the missus has got planned.
Why, what's that, sir?
She wants us to bob for bloody apples.
Oh, that sounds like fun, sir.
Dunking my head into a bucket of ice-cold water is not what I consider fun, Jackson. Hate this bloody season. At least at New Year's, all you've got to do is get drunk and kiss the wife.
What about Easter, sir?
Oh, don't get me started on that bloody ghost story. Fancy another one?
I should get home.
Yeah, it's a busy day. Killer to find and all that.
I hope that's not sarcasm I'm detecting, Higgins.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, sir.
What about you, Crabtree?
I'll have another, sir.
Ah, good lad. Landlord, 2 pints and 2 chasers, and keep them coming.
Sir, I feel like you're missing the whole spirit of the season.
Let me tell you about the season that's supposedly full of good. It still contains its fair share of evil.
What do you mean, sir?
Oh, Crabtree. It's a holiday for hypocrites. A holiday where the godless can feel pious. Where the greedy can pretend to be generous. I'd be happy if the whole thing never existed. I'll see you tomorrow, George Crabtree. Woman of the house!
Thomas, honestly.
Come here, Margaret.
Oh. That's nothing.
Spend Christmas together. No, I don't think so, George. I have plans.
Sorry, George, but Mother insists that Christmas be for family only.
A day with nothing more than each other's company is all we want.
Christmas? Hardly. There's never anything for a single person on Christmas.
Be happy if the whole thing never existed.
Sir, what is it? There's something in the woods. It was coming after me. Something? What do you mean, something? A creature. It was carrying a body, as if it was a feather pillow. A creature?
I
horns on his head, blood-red eyes.
Where is this creature now?
In the woods. That way. I was sure I'd get help.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Inspector Brackenreed?
I'm not releasing him.
That's not why I'm here, even though you would if you had a heart.
What do you want?
I'm assisting in the charity drive for the city's orphans and the hospital for sick children. I was hoping some of the constables could help with the procuring of donations.
Well, we are attempting to solve a murder and a robbery at the McGowan mansion.
I know, sir, but if you failed, the children could use help.
Maybe you should try the fire department.
Sir, a moment.
What is it, Crabtree?
Sir, I saw something unusual last night.
Well, you'd had a few.
Yeah, I know, but sir, I saw some tracks in the woods.
What did they look like?
Like nothing I'd ever seen before. They weren't quite human, a little bit like a claw, but at the same time, it's like no animal I've ever seen.
I am running out of time. You are destroying Christmas.
Sir, I have no choice.
You are so sure, aren't you?
Excuse me?
How can you be convinced that I am not who I say I am?
Bloody Christmas. They're supposed to be solving a murder.
Sir, they're merely exchanging gifts.
Oh, come on, let's go.
Where?
The mayor's making a speech. All ranking city officials are to be in attendance.
I'm a ranking city official now?
No, and you're never likely to be, but I could use the company. Higgins! Wait, what are you doing with that bloody tree?
Detective Murdoch said it would be all right.
Put down the tree and find Mr. Lynch.
Not here, Jackson. Come on. Come about. Come on.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry. Sorry, sir. Oh.
Thank you for coming. Your generosity is the real message of the spirit of Christmas. To think that the citizens of
Thank
Toronto...
you, Miss Pickford. To reiterate what our own little match girl was saying, I thank you all for donating to our cause. All our hearts were saddened by the untimely demise of Mr. McGowan, a man who spread joy for so many years. It seemed the spirit of Christmas had passed us by. But you rose and took up the torch, and the man who held it firmest was none other than Cyrus Lynch. Since the death of Mr. McGowan, I have been in communication with Mr. Lynch, who has helped spearhead this drive with a sizable donation. The city of Toronto owes him a debt of gratitude.
It would seem Mr. Lynch is alive and well.
Now he's playing at being some bloody Nick.
A perverse motive, but that could explain the murder.
To give a gift to the city of Toronto. And it gives me great honor to unveil it today.
Good Lord.
Bloody Lynch. Get back! Everyone get back! Everybody, back! This is terrible. This is not good at all. Why didn't you inform us that you were in contact with Cyrus Lynch? We were looking for him.
I didn't know that.
There were posters all over town.
I've been very busy coordinating this charity drive. I don't have time to be looking at posters.
Mr. Mayor, what did you believe was in the crate?
I was told it was a likeness of myself.
Oh, and you thought it would be a good idea to unveil it at this celebration.
Every little bit counts. My lord, the carnage. All our efforts up in smoke.
Sir, when did you last see Cyrus Lynch?
I never saw him. The only means of our communication was through a third party.
Who was?
I have no idea. All I can say is that once the presents started to arrive, I had no reason to believe anything was amiss.
Mr. Mayor, it's time to control the damage.
Gentlemen, I have to go. Inspector Brackenreed, my office will be in contact later this afternoon. I have a task for you. There will be many in our fair city who will not see Christmas this year.
And they'd be very disappointed not to get to see that statue.
Mr. Mayor, what did I tell you about talking to the police on your own?
You have to eat something.
I heard what happened at City Hall.
Yes, it was terrible.
The world needs me. You know that, don't you, Constable?
I can't help you.
Yes, you can. You know it's wrong to keep me in this cell, don't you? And I know something else, too.
What's that?
You have the spirit of Christmas within you. And you do know who I truly am.
Eat something, please.
And we've been instructed by the mayor's office to do whatever we can to bring in gifts and donations.
Are we still looking for the stolen presents, sir?
Yes, Higgins.
And the murderer, sir?
We're the police, Crabtree. What do you think?
Right.
Right then, get to it. Oh, and Jackson, you're not on holiday yet.
Yes, sir.
Ah, Murdoch. What have you got?
Julia's examining the body, sir.
But it's safe to say that Lynch didn't kill McGowan.
We don't know that.
Sirs, even if Lynch was the murderer, somebody's killed him now, so we have another crime.
What are you still doing here?
Sir, I think my efforts are better spent here on the investigation.
All right, Crabtree. What do you think?
I think a third party killed McGowan and Lynch.
Oh? And why would they do that?
It would appear, sirs, for the sole purpose of destroying Christmas.
Gentlemen, my office. Krampus.
Who?
Puss. Krampus, with a K.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't follow.
When I was a boy back in Yorkshire, my father told me the story of Krampus. Krampus is a creature that emerges from the woods at Christmas time. But he didn't bring gifts to children. He punished them. And if he was in a particularly foul mood, he devoured them.
Devoured them, sir?
Yes. In fact, he punished all who celebrated Christmas.
So did he devour adults as well?
I don't know.
I mean, I suppose if you had to choose between devouring a child or some old person...
All right, that's enough, George. Sir, you believe this Krampus is responsible for our murders?
Mock me if you want, Murdoch, but I'll tell you this. I've seen him. When I was a boy, he appeared at my bedroom window.
You had a nightmare as a child, but I hardly think it responsible for 2 murders in Toronto today.
How do we kill it?
According to my father, Krampus can't be killed.
I know it.
And I think he's here now.
Sir?
Yesterday, I was walking through the woods, and I felt its presence, just like I did all those years ago.
All right, sir. Would you be willing to describe this presence?
Don't be smart, Murdoch. All right, let me see. All I remember is the glowing eyes, the beastly feet, and the horns. Crabtree saw the same.
George?
Sir, not to the same level of detail as the inspector, but I did see some very unusual tracks.
Where was this?
On Bell's Bridge. Tramp had reported seeing a huge figure carrying a body over its shoulder through the woods. That body could have been that of Mr. Lynch.
Did you see this body?
No.
Did you see the beast?
No.
Did you see anything to support this Krampus notion?
Well, sir, as I said, I did see the tracks.
What about this?
That looks very much like a goat's horn.
Like a horn, but perhaps not simply a goat's horn.
Respectfully, sir, there is no such thing as Krampus, no such thing as Saint Nick, no such thing as the ghost of Christmas past, or elves,
Oh, please
or...
don't say that, sir.
There's no Kris Kringle.
You too, Doctor.
I was coming by to see how he was faring. Did someone let him out?
Not without your authority, Julia.
Maybe his elves rescued him.
Jackson, what are you doing?
Decorating the station, sir.
Well, stop it. We've got 2 murderers to find.
And possibly a monster, huh?
Oh, my God.
George?
Don't get him started.
A monster?
Despite how he was found, it seems Mr. Lynch died in the same fashion as Mr. McGowan.
A snap neck.
So it seems likely that the same person murdered both of them.
It's possible. And I found these scratch marks on his body. He was clawed.
That makes sense.
Inspector?
The inspector seems to believe that supernatural forces are at work here.
Oh, I see.
Whereas I prefer to stay in the real world.
I just don't feel like celebrating this year.
I can understand that, Mrs. McGowan. Thank you for seeing me.
No, of course. I'm just not sure how I can help.
I take it you've heard about the unfortunate circumstance that befell Mr. Lynch.
I have.
And you still believe him to be responsible for your husband's death?
I do.
I hate to trouble you with this, but I'll need you to account for your whereabouts.
You're not seriously suggesting.
Is everything all right?
I take it you've heard about the death of our prime suspect?
I have. And I must admit surprise. I was of the sincere belief that Cyrus Lynch was responsible for the death of Mr. McGowan.
We both were.
Well, thank you. If you think of anyone else.
Of course.
Robert Cratchit. You should talk to Robert Cratchit.
Hi, sir. Can I borrow your hat?
Oh, I'm sorry, miss, but I only have the one. Ah! Oh, no! Help! Help! Please, let me in! I'm being attacked!
I was chief of operations at McGowan Manufacturing for almost 10 years. Not anymore.
Was Mr. McGowan unsatisfied with your work?
He didn't fire me. I left.
Oh, why?
You know what he did this year? He docked our wages so he could buy more presents. The only thing Alistair McGowan ever did was make himself look good at others' expense. A number of the lads and myself are making the move to Lynch Fabrications.
McGowan's chief competitor. Did McGowan know about this?
Mr. Lynch walked into our plant and offered up the jobs himself. Must have heard that McGowan was docking our wages. Struck while the iron was hot.
And how did Mr. McGowan react?
The two of them actually got into a fight on the shop floor.
No.
Mr. McGowan got the better of him.
You don't seem upset by Mr. McGowan's murder.
As far as I'm concerned, the old skinflint got what he deserved.
And how do you feel about Mr. Lynch's death?
As long as the job he promised is still waiting for me, that's all that matters.
Ma'am, please. Would you like to make a donation? Anything helps, really. Ma'am, could you please help?
What would be the point? It'll just get stolen.
Well, Happy Christmas to you, too.
I've not had a single donation.
I put these in myself.
Higgins, Krampus is winning.
Who's Krampus? What are you talking about?
The inspector believes that there is a malevolent spirit loose in the streets of Toronto, and its sole aim is to ruin Christmas.
The inspector said that.
Yes, he did. And look, he's right. Constable George Crabtree.
I'm sorry, no more questions, gentlemen. This man needs medical attention. He's taken a blow to the head. I should take him to the hospital.
Sir, what happened?
I was closing up for the night. I heard a noise. Something was destroying the carousel.
Something?
It wasn't human. It was a foul-smelling creature. It walked on two legs, but it wasn't a man. I turned to run, but it struck me from behind.
And you told those reporters that?
People need to know.
William, I have to take him.
Sir, did you hear that?
I did.
Do you believe me now?
No, George, I do not.
Sir. Krampus. Krampus.
Gentlemen, one at a time, please.
Detective, is the city safe?
As safe as it ever was.
Well, how can you say that? We have 2 murders and a beast roaming the streets.
We're investigating the deaths of Mr. Lynch and Mr. McGowan, and we will come to a conclusion.
And what about the beast?
Gentlemen, I highly doubt that a beast is wandering the streets of Toronto, and so should you. That's all for now. Thank you.
How did this Krampus arrange passage?
Have you checked the steamship lines?
You called for me?
I did indeed, Constable Jackson. I know what you did.
I don't know what you're...
You released Mr. Kringle.
I did not. Well, he...
I'm not a fool, Jackson, so don't blame me for one.
I don't think it's in his nature to cause harm, ma'am.
I know you mean well, but you're not qualified to make that judgment. Now, come with me.
Can't we just let him go?
Jackson.
Christmas is my favorite time of year, yet now it doesn't feel the same.
Well, 2 murders just days before the holidays do tend to dampen the Christmas spirit.
There he is.
Sir! Sir! Go, go! Stop! Stop! You're there! Stop!
Jackson. Are you all right?
Yes, doctor.
You know what they say about dashing in the snow? Head over heels you go.
Very good, doctor.
George! George!
Sir.
Is this your doing?
Sir, he remains a viable suspect.
No, it does not. George, we would be much closer to solving this case if you and the inspector would rein in your flights of fancy.
Sir.
Take this.
As you can see, the boy you sent us is doing well.
He'll be released soon?
A woman from the orphanage is coming for him.
Is it always so chilly in here?
We do our best, but when a chill wind blows, well, it plays havoc in our ability to care for the earlyborns.
I'm sure. You know, my husband, Detective William Murdoch, is quite an ingenious man. He may be able to help you.
Thank you. We'd appreciate any help we can get.
It has nothing to do with who Mr. McGowan did or didn't cheat. Krampus is responsible for all this.
I'm sorry, sir, but I find it difficult to believe that a demon...
You believe in the existence of good, do you not?
Of course.
Well, then you can believe in the spirit of evil. You can believe that someone can hate Christmas.
Well, all people are capable of hating something, so that is possible. But Christmas...
Oh, there are plenty of reasons to hate Christmas, Murdoch. The poor hate Christmas, the lonely hate Christmas, the greedy hate Christmas, and I hate Christmas.
Sir.
Every year when I was a young boy, I asked for one small present. A figure of a Prussian cavalry officer. And every year, nothing. Oh, I know my father tried. But every year your face got rubbed deeper in it. For a lot of people, Christmas isn't St. Nick. It's Krampus.
I doubt very much that Krampus...
Christmas is nothing but greed and crushing disappointments. It's the time of Krampus.
But it doesn't have to be.
I just wish the whole bloody holiday would go away.
Sir, Christmas is worth saving. It really is.
I have some specimen containers that would be suitable.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll have someone bring them over.
This is going to work perfectly.
And don't you be late tonight. It is Christmas Eve.
This is the best you could do? People are skint.
Skint.
Tapped out, without money.
Bleakest Christmas on record.
And during your term in office, sir. What a pity.
And happy Christmas to you too, Inspector.
Right, you lot get back to work. Oh, and you two are not excluded either. Right, everyone. Go home.
Home, sir?
You heard me, Higgins. Now clear off before I change my mind.
Inspector?
We're not going to find him tonight, Murdoch. We'll pick it up after the holidays.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Quite.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Tomorrow's gonna be my lucky day.
George, can you help me pack up this box? And accompany me home.
Really, sir? Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, I didn't mean...
Oh, sir, that is wonderful. Oh, I thought my Christmas Eve was going to be bleak, but your place at the Windsor is just lovely, and the food is to die for. And Dr. Ogden, sir, she's lovely company. Really, I think that's important. And very attractive. I mean, as are you. I'm sure if you asked any lady, they would say as much.
Julia? Julia, where are you? I've brought a
Unwrap me, will you?
visitor.
Good gracious. Sir, I should go.
No, George. I think the moment may have passed. George, would you like a breast or a leg?
Oh, whichever is appropriate.
Thank you. George, why are you wearing only one sock?
Well, the other one is hanging on the tree, sir.
The tree?
Yes, well, you don't have a hearth, so I thought that would be the best place. Do not hang your stockings at Christmas. Well, you must. Good King Wenceslas looked down on the feast of Stephen, where the snow lay round about.
Are we supposed to put something in them?
I have no idea.
And is he staying over?
I believe that's the expectation. Let's just make the best of it, shall we? Looks wonderful, George. Now.
Oh, William.
They're quite strong, sir.
I'm sure it can easily be corrected.
Would you like a sherry, George? This could take a while.
Another mint, Doctor?
I'm fine. William, how much longer?
This should do it.
Perhaps you overcompensated, sir.
Something must have caused a short circuit somehow.
I'll ring down to the desk, see if they can replace the fuse.
I may pop out for a brief constitutional.
And for goodness sake, William, keep your hands off the lights.
Father, did you see that train set I was asking about? It's not fair! It's not fair! Everyone gets a present. Everyone but me.
I've made thee a present.
I don't want something stupid at home now.
I've tried my best, son.
I hate you!
Hey, you there! Stop!
There's somewhere I have to be.
Well, hold up a minute.
I'm in a tremendous hurry.
You should be in custody.
What? I can't be. Not tonight. Surely you must understand who I am.
Sir, why do you insist on this ruse? How can you believe you are who you say you are?
And why do you believe I'm not? And to use your pilots, I certainly fit the profile. And answer me this. I overheard one of your constables say you were searching for Krampus. If you can believe in him, why can't you believe in me?
Well, you make a good point there, I suppose. But you stole presents. Is that in the spirit of Christmas?
I did not steal presents. They're my presents. I did see a man carry a load of presents into the warehouse.
A man? What man?
Never saw him before in my life.
Sir, could you come with me?
I'm tremendously busy.
I promise I won't keep you long, but I will give you a chance.
A chance? For what?
To save Christmas.
Is his chin a little broader?
And you're certain this is the man you saw deposit the gifts in Mr. Lynch's warehouse?
Oh, yes, yes, it is.
George, this could be Robert Cratchit, recently in the employ of none other than Alistair McGowan.
So he's our man?
Well, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Thank you. Let's pay Mr. Cratchit a visit, shall we?
Right. Well, I'll get my sock.
And where are you going?
It's very late. The constable said I could leave. Oh, please. Look at me. I'm hale and hearty, and I can assure you I'm no danger to myself or to anyone else. I promise you that.
You're quite certain?
Yes, I am. Now, please, I have to go. Both you and I have important work to do tonight.
All right, let's go catch a thief.
And a murderer.
That too.
And you are on the naughty list.
I did wonder.
Where are the presents? Did we have a break-in?
No,
Then what?
the boys.
What did they do?
Oh, no, it's not like that. They took their toys and presents and marched down to the orphanage. They said they had enough things and they wanted to give them to the poor children. I have never been so proud.
My boys are better men than me.
What are you talking about, Thomas?
Do you know what I did at Christmas when I was their age? I told my father how much I hated him. That's why Krampus came calling.
Oh, you know Krampus is not real.
That's what they say.
Where are you going?
To make things right.
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, I'm well aware of that, Mr. Cratchit. Please answer the question.
I delivered the presents to Mr. Lynch's warehouse. What of it?
They were stolen.
No, they weren't. Mrs. McGowan found them in her house after Mr. McGowan's murder.
But why deliver them to Lynch's warehouse?
She said they were to aid in Mr. Lynch's charity drive. I had no reason to believe otherwise.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. Perhaps she, unlike her husband, had a good heart. Detective, I honestly didn't know I was doing something wrong.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Cratchit. Merry Christmas. Why would she help her husband's rival?
She was a charitable soul.
I'd be inclined to believe that, George, were it not for the timing. Mr. Lynch's gift drive hadn't been announced yet. She only had Mr. Cratchit do that in order to implicate Mr. Lynch in her husband's murder.
So she did it then?
You're jumping again, George. North on Young Street, driver.
With pleasure, sir.
Mrs. McGowan?
Millicent? What are we doing here?
Doing what the inspector always says to do.
Following the money. Just a few files Rankin was disinclined to share with us, sir.
Aha!
What is it?
We know that Mr. McGowan and Mr. Lynch were partners who eventually parted ways. But Mr. Rankin didn't tell us about this.
I've been chasing after you lot halfway across bloody Toronto.
Nice of you to join us, sir. We have it.
They were all partners, sir. McGowan, Lynch, and Rankin.
At the very beginning, yes, Mr. Rankin was an equal partner in the very first company that the three of them formed. But when the business started off slowly, Mr. Rankin wanted out. So he sold his shares in their company to them for $100.
Not a wise move.
Mr. McGowan and Mr. Lynch built it up to $1 million enterprise before they parted ways.
And Mr. Rankin?
The best that they could offer him was a position as a salaried employee.
Enough to make a man very, very bitter.
He watched his friends getting richer and richer every day while he continued on as a poorly paid bookkeeper.
Is Millicent McGowan involved?
I've found no evidence to link her to any of this.
So she's innocent?
That's jumping to conclusions, Doctor.
Mr. Rankin would be able to answer this question if we knew where to find him.
Bring the sleigh around, George. Mr. Rankin has a home just outside the city limits.
Ah, well, let's go and deliver him some festive cheer.
Sir, look out for that stump! Whoa, whoa. Sirs, look.
They're animal tracks, George.
Sir, it's not just an animal. I'm telling you, these are the same tracks I saw when that old tramp saw the beast on the bridge.
But you didn't see the beast. You said so yourself.
I smelled it, sir. There was a hideous smell.
Fine. You stay here. We'll handle this.
Let's get a move on, Crabtree.
Sir, what if Krampus is in there?
Then we'll tell him he's not welcome.
Mr. Rankin? Toronto Constabulary?
Shh, William, listen. Are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I think so.
Julia, wait. Who did this to you?
It wasn't a who.
Where's Mr. Rankin?
I have no idea.
Who brought you here?
It was a monster. It had horns, and it had horrible red eyes.
I have no time for fairy tales, Mrs. McGowan. The truth.
That's what I'm telling you.
Look, Julia, leave her. Let's find Mr. Rankin first. We'll split up.
Beware of the beast.
Crikey.
Krampus? Krampus?
Hello? Hello?
Sirs? Doctor? Come look at this.
Right. We'd best split up.
Why? I'm sure the bugger knows this maze like the back of his hand. If he was here, he's probably long gone.
Besides, if we split up, he'll pick us off one by one.
George, he's an accountant.
Sure, he could be Krampus.
There is no such thing as Krampus.
What are you talking about?
I'll explain later. Let's go.
William, I think I saw something.
Is it him?
I don't know, it was something.
Something?
Yes, something.
What in God's name are you saying? Dr. Ogden?
Sir?
Yes?
I'm seeing more of the tracks.
I see them too, George. Don't worry, it's just a ruse.
If it is, it's a bloody good one.
Doctor? Doctor?
You should not have followed me.
Krampus?
You know what happens now. Dinner.
You're not real. You're nothing but a fairy tale. A stupid fable. An old wives' tale. Murdoch! Follow my voice! I've got him!
George?
Sir?
Find Julia.
I've seen the beast.
Sir, there is no beast.
Oh, bloody hell, Murdoch, I know that. But as far as I'm concerned, a man who dresses like a beast is as good as one.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
Follow me.
Doctor! Doctor! Julia!
George.
Are you all right?
I think so.
Who did this to you?
I really didn't see. They ran that way.
Are you sure you're all right?
Yes, go.
You stay here.
Sir! Stop!
Oi! Stop!
Find Julia.
Be careful, Murdoch.
Hello? Hello? Krampus?
Millicent, stop what you're doing.
Aren't you clever?
You're a murderer, Millicent.
I had no choice. My husband was robbing me blind, giving his money away to layabouts.
There are 3 police officers here. You'll never get away with it.
Oh, I think I will. Unless you can walk through fire.
Don't! Pity they don't seem to be working. Poor little match girl.
Do you need a hand, Doctor?
I think I have it covered.
I always enjoy a good Christmas punch.
So do I, Inspector. So do I.
Stop!
Kill you.
I very much doubt that.
Mr. Rankin said that my husband was going broke, that he was going to put me into poverty.
You hardly look poor.
And giving away what's rightfully mine to the undeserving? I'd had enough.
Your husband was a cheat and a thief. But he had plenty of money to live on and plenty for you. I saw his books.
That's not what Mr. Rankin said.
He played you like an old piano mom.
And made you an accessory to 2 murders.
I had nothing to do with Mr. Lynch's murder. I swear.
Well then, we'll have to settle for your part in killing your husband.
You've caused enough trouble, Mr. Rankin.
I suppose you want to hear my side.
Not particularly, no.
You lied!
Mrs. McGowan! Mrs. McGowan!
You told me he was broke!
I lied.
You lied! I helped you kill my husband!
You wouldn't have done it if you didn't want to.
You were just going to leave me there, weren't you? You were never coming back for me.
Why would I? You were as bad as he was. As all of them were. She's worse than I am.
Oh, I doubt that. He tried to terrorize an entire city.
A city overrun with greed and false cheer. It deserved it. You all deserve it. And you wallow in vice and depravity and cruelty to your fellow man. And dress yourselves up all in false piety and reward yourselves on Christmas Day. I am Krampus, and I hate all those who celebrate Christmas. I hate what it stands for. It's a holiday for hypocrites, where the godless can pretend to be pious, the greedy can pretend to be generous. People like me, we end up with nothing. You throw crumbs at our feet and we're supposed to be grateful. I hate it.
You know what? I feel sorry for you.
Oh, why's that?
You'd feel better if you measured Christmas by what you can give, not what you can get. At least you'll have a warm Christmas Eve in the cells. Be grateful for that.
Merry Christmas, Doctor.
Merry Christmas, Detective.
I imagine George will be waiting by the tree. George?
Where is he?
I have no idea.
Thank you for Christmas Eve. Enjoy your morning. Much appreciation, George Crabtree.
Oranges.
Oh, lovely.
What is this? A rib spreader.
Yours was getting old and rusty.
Overuse, I imagine. Thank you. And I had this made especially for you.
My hat?
For the tree.
Oh, thank you. Shall we go to the hospital?
In a moment.
Oh, you don't need that. We should go.
How did you find a toy store open so late on Christmas Eve?
It wasn't exactly open. I broke in. I did leave enough to cover the cost. I'm gonna nip out for a bit.
Oh, I highly doubt the pubs were open today.
I'm not going to the pub. The boys are on a bit of a mission this morning. I thought I'd pitch in. I'll see you at lunchtime.
They're called incubators. They deliver a safe, regulated heat.
My husband assures me they'll work and save many lives.
Thank you.
Thank Miss Pickford. She's your champion.
Anyone who helps us with our work is a champion.
Thank you, Detective Murdoch and Dr. Ogden. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Lads?
Sir, I thought you'd be home with your family.
Oh, plenty of time for family later today.
Merry Christmas.
Where's Higgins?
The lure of Elsie McVie was too much.
Can't blame the lad for trying.
Thank you for coming, Inspector. You know, Christmas time is a special time when we can all...
Jackson, enough. I'm here, aren't I?
Indeed you are, Inspector. Oh, who wants this big one?
It really is a special time, isn't it? Charitable donations, doing something good. It's as though you can truly feel the magic of...
Where did that come from?
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Oh, do you now? Great detective.
Oh, and I think she needs arresting.
We're running low.
I can see that.
Looks like the mighty Higgins struck out.
Higgins! Best of the season.
And to you, George?
So, Elsie McVie.
Spoken for already, apparently.
That's a shame, Henry.
It's okay. The camera had provided a more flattering picture than the reality.
Well, come join us.
I will, but first, there's someone I'd like you to meet.
Surprise! Merry Christmas, Georgie!
Aunt Azalea! Aunt Ivy! I thought...
We pulled a fast one on you. Merry Christmas, Georgie.
Sir! My aunts, they came!
Yes, I see that. Hello, ladies. Well, it appears we've arrived too late.
Yes, sir. More children than presents, I'm afraid.
What about those?
Good gracious, where did those come from?
Does it matter?
Christmas truly is here.
Aunt Azalea.
All right, who doesn't have a present yet?
Here's a lovely one for you.
There you go.
Here's one for you.
Did you see that?
See what?
You saw him. I know you did.
Merry Christmas.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
Merry Christmas.
Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare in room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven
It's
and
lovely.
nature
Merry
sing.
Christmas.
And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare in room. And heaven and nature sing.